Hi, how's it going? Welcome to a brand new video. Pokemon Mega Evolutions in Legends EA. You might be wondering, which one will we get? Well, I'm actually going to go through this exact topic in this video. We're going to go through the starter Mega Evolutions, like some possible theories for what they could be, but not just that. We also have the confirmed Megas, as well as leaked Megas. So there's quite a few things to talk about, as well as some potential hints for at least one new Mega Evolution that we haven't really paid attention to. So let's get right into it. Starting things off, the starter Pokemon. Of course, you guys have seen them. It's Chikorita, it's Tepig, and Totodile. We love all three of them. But the question is, will they be getting regional forms or Mega Evolution? Now, I personally think more likely these guys are going to be getting Mega Evolutions. Why do I think this? Well, it just makes more sense. The entire trailer and just in general, this game seems to be focusing far more on it being all about Kalos, Lumio City, only a few years into the future. We're not looking at this game being really far back in time. This seems to be set in relatively present time for us, which means that most of the things we'll be seeing are still going to be the same as they were in original Kalos. But one potential new thing could be a lot of new Megas. So the reason why I think these guys are going to be getting, of course, Mega Evolutions is mainly that. There's always a chance, of course, that could not be the case and they may actually end up getting regional variants, but Mega Evolution just seems like the big feature of this game. It's the big return of the original Pokemon, like, new gen feature, because Mega Evolution was the big first one that they did back in the day. So the question then is, what could these guys actually become? What could the starters be? Well, let's take a look at that. To start with, one of the best theories I've seen is from one of our viewers, Matsuyo. Matsuyo suggested that, hey, I saw a bit of a theory. What if these things are based on fairy tales? Like archetypes from fairy tales. Now, what are we talking about? Well, think about how fairy tales work and think about how every other starter is sort of made. Every starter Pokemon is based on some sort of theme. For example, Sword and Shield starter Pokemon specifically aimed to have a theme that related to the UK, which is what Galar was specifically based on. So if you look at what they do, well, they're all based off of some sort of entertainment. For example, Scorbunny is a soccer player or a football player. If you look at Elion, it's sort of meant to be an agent, like 007, an actor, maybe. And then finally, Rillaboom is just an artist, like a drummer. So they're all based on some form of entertainment. So the question then is, well, what could these guys as Mega Evolutions be based on, or regional forms? But if we're sticking to Megas here, well, they could be based on fairy tales. And what options do we have then? Well, let's start with, of course, everyone's little favorite, Chikorita. Now, here's the thing. Chikorita could definitely become a sort of fair maiden. It does have the more feminine design, generally speaking. I mean, of course, we could make it ferocious, and I think a lot of people would like that, but realistically, it's most likely going to be some sort of fairy type Pokemon. Why do we say this? Well, because we already saw in the trailer that Chikorita right here will actually have Disarming Voice. Disarming Voice being, of course, a fairy type move, a move that Chikorita normally doesn't learn. So we can already assume that it's going to have a fairy typing. So it fits into the fairy tale aesthetic, and it could definitely be the archetype of a fair maiden or a princess or something like that, having the grass and fairy type, just a fair maiden of sorts. In terms of designs and what this could look like, we can go in a lot of directions. I'm going to show some artwork right now on the screen. You guys will be able to see sort of designs that have been put together by just amazing artists. I'm going to be linking all of them down below for some of the concepts. First up is this one right here. Now, I'm going to be real with you. This looks sick. There are so many designs that I've seen, but this one really stands out to me. It just looks incredible. But I would love to know what you guys think about it. Again, Grass Fairy makes the most amount of sense, and it fits, of course, with what I said. We already literally know that this Pokemon is, like, it's meant to have the fairy typing based on the move that's been given to it. So we can already assume that this sort of fits. Grass Fairy. Question is, what about the other two? Well, second up is going to be Tepig. Of course, this little fella is getting a lot of shit. People do not like Tepig that much, but that's fine. We stand Tepig, we're cool with him. So the question is, what could his Mega be? Well, there is one really good idea that could work. A knight. Yes, a knight in shining armor. You might not see it when you look at this guy, but he can definitely be a knight in shining armor. I mean, look at him. Who doesn't want him to be a knight in shining armor? Come on. Well, here's the thing, though. Why would this make sense? Well, again, we have a fair maiden, and then we have a knight in shining armor, which makes total sense. His typing could be fire steel type, which would also be a good counter. I mean, I guess it would be super... Actually, you know what? Actually, it'd be double effective. You know what? Actually, I'm trying to think this might not make sense. But no, it actually does make sense. Fire Steel, it'd be double effective against, obviously, Chikorita. Chikorita would just suffer a lot here. But it's not the first time that they would be willing to do some really wacky stuff with typings. They could also just leave the typing on just Fire, but I think Fire Steel would make a lot of sense, and it would fit, and again, give him that sort of knighthood design. Again, this is just a theory, again, that was just shared to me by Matsuyo, but I really like it. So that's what I think the Mega could look like. But that's not the only one we have. We also have one more, and that's going to be this guy. Now, this is my son. You don't understand. This is Totodile. We love Totodile. If you don't love Totodile, something's wrong with you. But what could he actually be? Well, here's the thing. Totodile could easily, just easily be a straight up water dragon type. And he would also fit the archetype of the fairy tale concept. How would that make sense? Well, think about it. Water dragon. He's the dragon. Like, think about Shrek. Shrek was this knight in shining armor, Fiona was the princess, and then finally you had the dragon. And that's the perfect unison of all those things, and it makes sense given France. France is a country that, of course, through history has a lot of stories of, you know, knights in shining armor and things of that nature. So it makes sense. It fits with the theming. The theming makes sense for this entire game, so I don't see what the issue would be. However, there's always a chance they could do something else, but I think it's worthwhile to keep in mind nonetheless. So the question then becomes, well, this is the potential starter evolutions, but what are some other megas we could see? Well, let's talk about the first confirmed megas. Then we're going to talk about some of the leaked megas that we actually know will be happening. And then we're going to finish it off with, again, some interesting little hints that you guys may have missed. So let's go to that right now. All right, confirmed megas. Now, these are megas that already exist in Pokemon. We know these from the past. We saw them in X and Y, we saw them in Oras, and we saw them in Sun and Moon. So which ones are we talking about? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got Mega Charizard X and Y. Those are, of course, confirmed in the trailer. We also saw Mega, well, I mean, he's already kind of confirmed because Pidgey's in the game. So Pidgeot is basically confirmed. Mega Kangaskhan is shown in the trailer. We also see Mega Gyarados on the official website. We also know for a fact that we're going to be getting some form of Mega for, well, I mean, Ampharos is going to be in there because we already saw Flaffy. We also know Houndoom is in the game based on the actual map of the game that we saw. And we know that Mega Gardevoir, Mega Gallade, Mega Sableye, and Mega Altaria, as well as Mega Lucario, were all basically practically confirmed. So those are all confirmed ones. Those are the ones we know for a fact are going to get Megas. Like, it's not even a question. They're pretty much confirmed to be happening. The question then, of course, is, well, what are some other ones? What are some like brand new ones? What are some possible brand new Mega Evolutions we could see? Well, let me tell you about those. First up, we got this one. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Mega Zygarde. Yes, I'm going to just say it, Mega Zygarde and Mega Zeraora. Now, how do we know these two? Well, if you guys do not know, last year, around basically October of 2024, a leaker was able to get access to the Game Freak servers. He went inside and did a little bit of diddling with the, well, different files in there. And while doing so, he discovered a few things. Two of those things were the mention of emails where specifically two things were brought up. Mega Zygarde and Mega Zeraora. Those were confirmed emails that we literally have proof of actually happening. These emails were between employees, high employees at Game Freak. So pretty much confirmed those two megas. But there is a big point that should be brought up. There's always a chance that these emails have changed over time and the information within them could now be outdated and they may have canceled. But we know for a fact that these two would make sense. Like, these two Mega Evolutions actually fit and actually make sense. So just keep that in mind. It is all still just theories and everything, but these two are practically speaking confirmed. Okay, they're practically speaking confirmed. This always could change, but they're practically speaking confirmed. So just gonna keep that in mind. Remember that that is a point that you should have in your head. All right. Now we're gonna get very speculative. Okay, it's gonna get very speculative. Now it's gonna start getting weird. Listen. Did you guys watch the trailer? You probably did. Well, you may have noticed something interesting in the trailer. When they go through the section of actually showing us all these guys just sort of, you know, blasting each other, like the Mega Evolutions just killing each other, there is three interesting elements. The first battle is Absol battling a regular Altaria. Why is it a regular one? It's not Mega Evolved, which is very strange. Then we have a battle between a Charizard X versus a Pidgeot. Again, Pidgeot has a Mega, which is practically speaking confirmed, but we don't see him battling the Mega version of it. Instead, it's just a regular Pidgeot, but it does have a Mega Evolution. But then the last and third battle, we see Mega Kangaskhan which also is Mega Evolved. Keep in mind, all the Pokemon that our trainer is using are Mega Evolved. Charizard, of course, being one of them, Absol being one, and Kangaskhan being one. And the Pokemon they're battling, at least the first two, are both Pokemon that have Mega Evolutions in the past. And probably those Megas will be in this game. But why is Garbodor here? So I have an odd suspicion that Garbodor may get a Mega. This might be a weird, sly little hint through the trailer to sort of hint towards what they're doing here. Maybe slightly tell us that, hey, we're actually going to give a Mega to this Pokemon too. Now again, this is just my tinfoil hat theory, which is why you shouldn't take it as being the truth or the end-all be-all. But I do think it's highly possible. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd love to know your guys' thoughts and opinions. That's what I think, at least. And of course, these things we talked about, this is just speculative stuff. Some of the stuff is leaked, a lot of the stuff is confirmed, and a lot of it is also, again, just things that I'm just waffling about. So I'd love to know your guys' thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. And thank you all for watching.